दामय्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Bhaktyaloka series. We have been discussing the 6 qualities beginning from Utsa, Niścaya, Dhairyat. Yesterday we discussed about Utsa. Today we will discuss about Niścaya. So today we will be discussing about Niścaya. This is a very, very important article. Niścaya means confidence, what Prabhupada says. And Prabhupada gave the example just like the newly married girl should be confident that she can have the child. She should surrender to the husband. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhaktyaloka goes quite deep into what is Nischay. And today we will, in the next 2 classes, we will study quite in detail what is Nischay. उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संग त्यागा सतो वृत्तिः षड्भिर्भक्तिर prasidati, endeavoring with confidence. When you have doubts, then your endeavors come down. Suppose you're driving and there is a junction and you don't know, there's no board also, there is no Google map. And you ask the person, he doesn't direct you properly, and you start driving in that path. And then you have doubts. So you start going slowly, looking for further guidance so that, oh, if I go ahead, then what will happen if it is the wrong road. So similarly, in this path of bhakti, the path of bhakti is self-illuminated. And if one doesn't know the bhakti tattva, at what different points, what steps, milestones are there, and whether you are going the right direction, when that kind of clarity is not there because of doubts, then what happens? We cannot make progress. So that's why Nischay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur will discuss about what is doubts. So these are the 6 qualities. Kill the demon of doubt to gain confidence. So, but that's not how Bhaktivinoda Thakur begins his discussion. That in order to gain confidence, you have to clear all your doubts, because doubts are a sign of intelligence as Prabhupada mentions in the Kapil Shiksha. And doubts are also stumbling blocks. Doubts are like, applying brakes to your vehicle. The vehicle accelerator is in full speed, but at the same time, you have applied brakes. So you don't make the vehicle doesn't move ahead. So doubt is a sign of intelligence, and doubts are also demons. So you have to uh, use your intelligence doubts by clarifying them and having a clear understanding. And then you can, with confidence, make progress. In his Updeshamrit, Srila Rupa Goswami has instructed the practitioners of devotional service to be confident. Until this confidence is achieved, one will remain doubtful. I'm doubtful whether the results I'll get. If you're doubtful, then you'll not, progress on that path. Doubtful persons never have auspiciousness. Where in the Gita it is mentioned doubtful persons never have any auspiciousness? Anyone? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Doubtful persons never have any auspiciousness. Where in the Gita it is mentioned? Where in the Gita it is mentioned? Jagadish Puar Prabhuji. Where in the Gita it is mentioned that doubtful persons never.
अज्ञस्य अस्य सुधानस्य संशयात्मा विनश्यति इति.
Yes, exactly. How then will they have faith in unalloyed devotional service when they are doubtful at heart? At heart, they are doubtful. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Agyascha ashraddhadhanasya shamshayatva vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samshayatmana. The person ignorant of the scriptures, Agya, or one who knows the scripture but has no faith in it, ashraddhadhana, or one who is doubtful of attaining the goal even with faith, samshayatma, perishes, vinashyati. One who is afflicted with doubt, samshayatmana, attains nothing in this life, nayam lokosti, nothing in the next, na paro, and no happiness, na sukham. So here there are three categories which Krishna is mentioning. One is the agya. He is ignorant of the scriptures. So he is vinashyati, there is no doubt. And because he is not following the scripture, there is no auspicious he'll attain in this life, nor next life. The second is one who knows the scripture but has no faith in it. There are many people who do PhDs in Jiva Goswami Sandarbhas or in Govind Leela Amrit, but they have no faith in Krishna, no faith in the Acharyas, so they are still worst. But the third category is very, very important. The third category is they have faith. This is ashraddhadhana. Ashraddhadhana means they have no faith, but they know the scripture. But they don't have faith in the scripture, faith in the words of Lord. But these are devotees, practicing devotees who have faith, but who are doubtful on attaining the goal. Or they have faith in the scriptures, but they doubt about the sadhus. They doubt, everything about the activities of the devotees, and they are always very suspicious. So, Krishna, among the three, he says, Samshayatmana Vinashati, he says. One who's afflicted with doubt, for him specifically, he says, there is no doubt that he'll be completely, he'll be Vinashati, Vishesh Rupena Nashati. Having described those qualified for knowledge and the results, the Lord now describes the unqualified person and the results for that person. This is Baldev Vidyabhushan for this commentary. That the Lord has described those who are qualified, and the results they get. That is in the previous verses of Bhagavad Gita. And the Lord is describing now the unqualified person and the result of that person. The ignorant person, like an animal who has no knowledge of scriptures, or the person who, in spite of having knowledge of scriptures, has no faith, since he has a quarrelsome nature. This is especially about the Kanishta. The Kanishta is called as neophyte because he brings up new fights. He has little bit. Komal Shraddha is there. Very less Shraddha. And the knowledge of scriptures also less. Or the person who, in spite of having faith, doubts if he can attain perfection. This person is destroyed. Please mark this. Yeah. Krishna Bhakti Kale Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Shraddha. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas. Sudrida Niścaya. So this is how we should see that when we doubt about the goal, about especially the results mentioned by chanting Haridas Thakur in that assembly of Govardhan Majumdar and Hiramda Majumdar, speaking about the glories of the holy name. And liberation is just a byproduct. The real goal of the holy name is to attain Krishna Prem. And there was one person who was working in their office, who was a Brahmana, who was learned. He said, how Gyanis who lifetimes do tapasya to attain liberation, he said, just by mere semblance of the holy name, one can attain liberation. So he doubted about the Bhakti Tattva, the glories of the Bhakti Tattva, the goal the Bhakti Tattva gives. So this is the third category which we should be careful. This means that he deviates from his own interest. Among these persons, the one who doubts is especially criticized. Samshayatma Vinashati. This doubtful person does not have happiness from the gross world or the next world. Happiness is generated from actions prescribed by scriptures. That action is accompanied by knowledge of the individual Atma. Where is that happiness for one who has doubts upon attaining the goal? Srila Prabhupada. Out of the many standards and authority of revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita is the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures, and some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words, but they're very expert in reciting it. They are ashadadana. And even though others may have faith in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they do not believe or worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Such person cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down out of the above mentioned persons. Those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. They are always samshaya atma. Men without faith in God and His revealed word find no good in this world or in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow the principles of religion with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge can help one to become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in spiritual emancipation. Now, as I was mentioning, okay, one should therefore follow the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the discipline succession and thereby attain success. One who has faith is certainly without doubts. Now, this Bhaktivinoda Thakur again comes back. Now, here I would like to mention that Shraddha means intelligence. Intelligence. And intelligence means faith. Now, how it is, I'll try to explain. Suppose you have a disease and you're having certain symptoms, you go to a doctor. And, you mention the doctor, and the doctor tells, this is how you're feeling, this is what is happening. And he's exactly based on the inputs given by you, he's able to exactly tell this is what is happening. So what happens is you develop faith in the doctor. You use your intelligence. Yes, this is a symptom what he's saying, and this is the same thing I'm experiencing. And with that little faith, which is actually the sign of intelligence, you have faith in the doctor. And then you take the prescription and follow the do's and don'ts of the doctor. And after some time, by following that, you become free from the disease. The symptoms subside. You go back to the doctor. Now your faith on the doctor has increased and you're more ready to follow the doctor's advice. Similarly, one should have faith in sadhus who are speaking in the Guru Shish Parampara. Faith in the sadhus is important. And faith, the sadhus speak Shastra. So that thereby we should develop faith in Shastra. And faith is the sign of intelligence. Faith means intelligence. That's the point I wanted to bring out. Okay. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur continues. One who has faith is certainly without doubts. Faith means absolutely doubt. And repeatedly, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is telling us, what is he saying? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami ma sucha. Ma sucha. Do not doubt this. Ma sucha, he says. This is 18 point. Ma sucha. Do not worry or do not doubt. And then this is 18.66. This is 18.66, which I am referring here. Ma sucha. Do not doubt. And then in Bhagavad Gita 8.7, Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha mai arpit manobuddhir mam eva shishi asamshaya. You will come to me. This should be beyond any doubt. You should have that doubt. It should be beyond any doubt. Samshaya means doubt. Asamshaya is beyond any doubt. That if I always think about Krishna and surrender my heart and soul, then I'll attain the goal. Mam eva shishi, you'll attain me. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, again in 12.8, Krishna again speaks. Mai eva mana adhastva, mai buddhim niveshaya, nivashyasi mam, mai nivashyasi mai eva, ata urdvam na samshaya, na samshaya. Never doubt that if offer your mind and intelligence to me and surrender, then you will live in me. You will reside in me. That means you will attain me. And don't doubt this. So many times in the Krishna, in the Gita, so those who have faith are certainly without doubts, because the word faith means firm conviction. So that's how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is connecting both the things. As long as doubts are there, firm conviction cannot remain in the heart. That is why it's called as firm faith. Firm faith means Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita hoy. So, because you have doubts, so there is no firm conviction. Therefore, faithful living entities are always doubtless. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered all Vaishnavas to first understand three truths, Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. Now, faith means you have to have this knowledge of Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. There are 10 principal subjects in these three truths. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduces what is called as the Dasha Mula Tattva. This Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan has 10 principal truths, and having knowledge about this means you have complete faith and you have no doubts. So all the doubts in these three principal truths through the 10 principal subjects, when we have that knowledge, then we are free from all doubts. And then we can practice bhakti with firm conviction. So that's how the whole flow is. Okay, now he'll go into it. The Vedas are the principal scriptural evidence, which in turn expound the following 9 principles. Amnai. Amnai means the Vedas. We we accept Shabda Praman, not Pratyaksha and Anuman. Pratyaksha and Anuman can be used in conjunction with Shabda, but not independently. So these are the Dashamula Tattva. What? Vedas are scriptural evidence. The second, 9 principles which are called as Pramaya. Pramaya is, Praman means Vedas, scriptures. And from the scriptures, these 9 truths are established. That the scriptures say Krishna is absolute truth. Ishvara Param Krishna, Sachidananda Vigra, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna is the absolute truth. Where it is established? From the Vedas. So that which is established based on the Vedic authority, that principle which is established based on the Vedic authority is called as Pramaya. How many of you are coming across first time this Dasha Mula Tattva? Raise your hands. Dasha Mula Tattva. How many of you are coming across this? Sunita Mataji. Rasviharini Mataji. Chakra Ram Prabhuji. Have you heard about the Dasha Mula Tattva? No, you also. Jagdishwar Prabhuji.
No, I'm already been in this Dasamula Tattva.
You are familiar with the Dashamula Tattva?
Yes, yes,
Have you studied the Dashamula Tattva?
yes.
Acha, who originally taught the Dashamula Tattva?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing the teachings from whom? Originally, these teachings were presented by whom?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught it to Sanatani.
Sanatana.
Excellent, excellent. Very, very. I'm very happy with this answer. Yeah. Krishna is a supreme absolute. Krishna is omnipotent, Sarva Shaktiman. He is the fountainhead of all relationships and love. The living entities are his separated part and parcels, Vibhinna Amsha. The living entity, due to his constitutional situation as a marginal energy, may come under the sway of the material energy. Maya Kavalitan. He can become covered by Maya. Again, due to his marginal nature, the living entity is in the liberated condition, is free from the influence of material nature. Mukta. The living entity and everything in this material world cosmos is simultaneously one and different from the Supreme Lord. Bhinna. This is the Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva. Pure devotional service is the living entity's occupation and means. This is the Abhidheya, Sadhana Bhakti. And pure love of Krishna is the living entity's ultimate goal. So this is, we should be very clear about these. So by studying this Dashamula Tattva, means we have Niścaya. We have Niścaya. So this is the Dashamula Tattva, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur has presented in many of his works. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has presented this Dashamula Tattva teaching in the Niścaya article of Bhaktyaloka. he has presented in a separate book called as Dashamula Tattva. He has written it. And then he has also discussed it in quite detail in the Jaiva Dharma. And the Jaiva Dharma discussion is very systematic because for each of the Dashamula Tattva, he gives a definition and then he gives systematic praman also. The Dashamula Tattva book, as on itself, he gives more praman from the Shrutis, and it is a little difficult to understand from that book. But in the Jaiva Dharma, if one has to study Dashamula Tattva, the best is to first study from this Bhaktyaloka article and then study from the Jaiva Dharma. So he has composed this shloka for the Dashamula Tattva. आम्नाय प्राह तत्वम हरिम इह परमम सर्वशक्तिम रसाब्धिम तद्भिन्नांशांश्च जीवान् प्रकृति कवलितान् तद्विमुक्तांश्च भावात् भेदाभेद प्रकाशम सकलमपि हरे साधनानां शुद्ध भक्तिम साध्यम तत्प्रीतिम एवेति उपनिषति जनान् गौरचंद्र स्वयं स. Amnaya. I mentioned the first Dashamula Tattva is the Vedas are scriptural evidence. So what does the Vedas give these 9 principles? The 9 principles are called as Pramaya. Praha Tattvam Harim Hi Paramam. That Krishna is the absolute truth. He is Sarva Shaktiman. This is the second principle, Pramaya. He is Rasabnim. He is the ocean of Rasa. And then the Jivas, who are his Bhinnamsha. So this is the fourth principle, Pramaya. And there are Baddha Jivas, the fifth principle. Then there are the Vimukta Jivas. There are the liberated souls. And everything in this manifestation with the living entity is what? What is the relation? Bheda Bheda Prakasham Sakalamapi Hari, in relation to Hari. So these are 7 Pramayas. The first one is called as Praman. The next 7 are called as Pramaya. And the 8th one is called as Sadhanam Shuddha Bhaktim. So the first 8 are what is called as Sambandha Gyan. Abhidheya is Sadhana Bhakti. And Prayojan is Prema Bhakti. So Abhidheya is Sadhanam Shuddha Bhaktim. Please remember, Sadhanam not Bhaktim, Shuddha Bhaktim. And Sadhyam is Tat Pritim Eveti. Tat Pritim, to attain love of Godhead. Like this, Eveti, certainly like this, Iti does Upadishati, instructs the people who Gaurachandra, the Lord who is having the golden complexion. Swayamsa, personally he has instructed. And this is from Sanatan Shiksha. So here I have summarized 3 truths, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. The Jiva's eternal relationship with the Lord, that is Sambandha. To understand the relation and to act according to it is Abhideya. And Krishna Prem, to return back to Godhead, to attain ultimately love. And these Sambandha Abhideya have 10 truths. One is Praman, which is Vedas. 9 Pramaya based on the conclusion of the Vedas. The first 7 are Pramaya, dealing with Sambandha. The 8th one is Abhideya. The 9th one is Prayojan. So these 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur going to systematically establish all these Dashamula Tattvas. The 10 Dashamula Tattvas. Of course, it is brief here. And later on, he will give scriptural proof from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where this Dashamula Tattva is spoken by the Lord, where this is spoken by the Lord, where that is spoken by the Lord. So that's how he will discuss it. So now, up till now, anyone has any questions, clarifications? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Prabhuji, you recited the shloka in reference to this Sarvadharman Parityajya.
So the audio is not clear for me.
Krishna,
Yes, little more. You can come near to the mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it clear
Yeah.
now?
Yes, fully clear. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Regarding this today's class, you referred the shloka Sarva Dharman Parityajya
Mhm.
Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So please, please elaborate on this shloka.
Basically, what we were trying to say is that, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. When Krishna speaks this verse, we should have complete faith in the words of Krishna. That if I give up all other dharmas, Parityajya, Tyajya means to give, Parityajya means from all directions, and take complete shelter of Krishna, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. Papebhyo means I will relieve your all sins. And Mokshishami Masuchaya, I will deliver you. Do not worry. So here Krishna is giving assurance. But sometimes, this is also which I have personally experienced, that we don't have faith in the statement of Krishna. That if I wholeheartedly surrender, what about, sometimes we hold on to our own conditioning and sins, you know. You just surrender to the spiritual master and follow his guidance. But still, I've been, clinging on to my own sins. And I feel that with my strength of spiritual practices, I'll be overcome sin. No, ultimately, Krishna is going to destroy the sins. Vidunoti surit satam, Shunvatam Sukata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Radhantastoya Bhadrani, Vidunoti. Dunoti means Krishna is going to cleanse the heart. So that is why wholeheartedly we don't surrender and we hold on, we cling on to, you know, sometimes the devatas, we cling on to our family members, cling on to our traditional processes, rituals. We don't want to give up all these obligations. And you feel that this is also important. So that is why when we have that faith that Krishna will completely purify me, then with that surrendered heart, when we give Krishna, that means we don't have doubts. Krishna says, Esham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavata. So that ultimately we have to become free from papa by practicing again bhakti only. And then te bhajante dridavata. Naishtiki bhakti means, drida bhakti. So this is the condition Krishna has put, that you have to become free from papa. But Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives a very interesting example. Suppose the child is, past stool and is dirty and is crying. The mother will not hesitate to, actually embrace the child and himself, wash the child and bathe the child. But the child might still hesitate to go toward the mother because I'm dirty. I'm dirty. I need to wash myself. But Krishna is assuring, you just come to me. Aham tam sarva papabhi, I will cleanse your all sins. So this is a surrendered level of consciousness which is required. And we have to have no doubts. And from here, our bhakti process actually begins. Shuddha bhakti process begins from here when we have that faith. That sometimes, we are chanting and we have to suddenly go for a immediate meeting to some other city and we immediately book a flight or a train ticket. But, we make so many arrangements about our prasad, so many things. But if we have faith that if I'm Worship Krishna, Krishna will arrange, Krishna will manage it. But we don't have that kind of faith sometimes. So I'm just giving this example to make you understand that we still doubt whether Krishna will make arrangement for me. But ananyaschintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nitya abhyuktanam yogakshemya vahamya. So we do have that faith, or still we doubt. So this is where we need to work, internally. So that's the point I wanted to make. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear. One more question I had, that Sarva Dharman Parityaja. What all comes under this dharma? What all should we parityaja, give away?
So there are various dharmas. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. And as per Kshatriya dharma of Varnashram, he is supposed to do his Kshatriya dharma. So there are various dharmas. There is the dharma of practice of Gyan Yoga. There is the dharma of practice of Ashtanga Yoga. There is the dharma of Yati dharma, Sannyas dharma. So many dharmas which we have. Apart from these Vedic dharmas, we have come up with so many dharmas, so many isms, just to give up that. Mam ekam sharanam raja is the dharma of Jaiva dharma, the dharma of the soul, which is pure devotional service. That you should not give up. But sometimes, people interpret that you should give up all dharmas and even you should not practice bhakti. No, Mam ekam sharanam raja is you should practice Shuddha bhakti. That is not. That is the Jaiva dharma. Only perform the Jaiva dharma, which is pure devotional service. Okay, so now let's go into each of the pramans for these Dashamula Tattva. The first is that Vedic literatures are the only authority. In order to ascertain the truth, one must accept authority. There are 9 realities which can be only known through the Vedic authority. So there is Praman, which is Vedas, and we should accept it. And from the Vedas, we have to know these 9 realities. And these 9 realities are known through the Vedas. So this Pramaya are principles derived from Praman, the Vedas. Different scriptures have defined different authorities. Some say Pratyaksha or direct understanding. Some say Anuman or hypothetical understanding. And some say Upaman or analogies are authorities. And others include other subjects as authorities. All other authorities, however, are considered auxiliary authorities by the Vaishnava literatures propounded by Sriman Mahaprabhu. They are auxiliary authorities. Therefore, the self-perfect authority received through the disciplinic succession is the only principal authority to be accepted. It is the principle. We can accept Pratyaksha based on Shabda. Like Shabda says, Vayasam Tirtam Ushanti Manasa. Those who are other literatures are like sense gratification, which is the pilgrimage of crows. So we have seen crows sit in dirty places and they take pleasure in sense gratification of something which is refused, already used. So when we hear the Shabda Praman and we see Pratyaksh, oh, what is spoken in Pratyaksh? I am now, Shabda, I am seeing Pratyaksh. So like that, they can be auxiliary authorities, but the principal authority should be Shabda. All the natures that exist in this world are divided into 2 categories. Some are inconceivable, some are conceivable. The material nature are conceivable because they are automatically awakened in the course of thinking. So, we can conceive the material nature because it is matter. And we are spirit, we are superior to matter. And it can be conceived by, deliberating. This is how science works. Aroha Panta. Spiritual nature is inconceivable. Avyakto achintoyam avikaroyam uchyate. Prabhupada says. The only way you have to understand about the nature of the soul is that you have to accept the verdict of the Gita. Because it is not perceivable by the people's four fund of knowledge. It cannot be perceived by the senses. So there are these two natures, material nature, which is conceivable, spiritual nature, which is inconceivable. Inconceivable natures cannot be known without self-realization. Therefore, there is no entrance into inconceivable subjects for authorities like Pratyaksh, which are included in the category of argument. That is why Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, as quoted in the Mahabharata, says, Achintya kalohi bhava na tam starke na yojait. Prakritibhyah param yacha tad achintyasya lakshanam. Anything transcendental to material nature is inconceivable. Achintyasya lakshanam, achintya kalohi bhava, and thus cannot be grasped through mundane arguments. Tam starkena na yojayet. Therefore, one should not try to understand transcendental subjects in this way. Prakritibhya param, because it is transcendental to material nature, that is why we should not try to understand this. There is no entrance for protection Anuman in that state. In order to know the inconceivable nature, self-realization is the only means. So those who, with their logic and material intelligence, try to understand Shastra without being connected to the Guru Parampara and without following the principles laid on and attaining self-realization, they simply are hovering on the mental platform. Because with their Pratyaksha and Anuman, they are trying to understand. But Shabda means you have to hear from the spiritual authorities, surrender, follow the process, and attain self-realization. Self-realization is almost impossible for ordinary people. Seeing people's terrible madness, the most merciful Supreme Lord manifested the Vedic literatures. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 20, 122, 124, 125, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Again, I told this is part of Sanatan Shiksha. Maya Mugdha Jivera Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan Jivera Kripa Kaile Krishna Veda Puran. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort, but out of the causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and it supplements the Puranas. Veda Shastra kahe sambandha abhiday prayojan, Krishna prapya sambandha, bhakti prapya rasadhana, abhiday nama bhakti, prema prayojan, purushartha shiromani, prema mahadhan. The Vedic literature gives information of the living entity's eternal relationship with Krishna. Veda Shastra kahe sambandha, which is called sambandha. The living entity's understanding of this relationship and acting according to that is called abhideya. Abhideya, Krishna prapya sambandha, bhakti prapya sadhana. Returning home, back to Godhead, the ultimate goal of life is called prayojan, prema prayojan. Devotional service or sense activity for the satisfaction of the Lord is called abhideya. Prabhupada in the translation is giving quite elaborate definitions of abhideya nama, bhakti, prema prayojan. All this he is giving the definitions because it can develop one's original love of Godhead, which is the goal of life, prema prayojan. This goal is the living entity's topmost interest, purushartha shiromani, and greatest wealth, prema mahadan. Thus one attains the platform of transcendental loving service unto the Lord. Krishna prema one attains. So Vedas, Krishna is given. In the Vedas, there are these three subjects, Sambandha, Bhideya, Prayojan. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is coming. How within this Sambandha, Bhideya, Prayojan, there are these 10 truths. To know the inconceivable nature of the Vedic authority alone should be accepted. There is one other consideration in this regard. The Vedic knowledge received to the Guru Parampara is called Amnaya. So beautiful definition of Amnaya. Vedic knowledge accepted through the Guru Parampara. If you Vedic knowledge you accept from someone who is not in the Guru Parampara, then it is not Amnaya. There are so many subjects in the Vedas and there are various instructions for different qualifications. Among all qualifications, the qualification for devotional life is the topmost. By the strength of their devotional service, the previous Mahajams have awakened to self-realization and thereby separately written instructions regarding the qualifications for devotional service as mentioned in the Vedas. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is trying to say that in the Vedas, Bhakti is mentioned, Karma is mentioned, Gyan is mentioned, Ashtanga is mentioned. And for all of them, you need Adhikar. But everyone has Adhikar to practice Bhakti without having any previous qualification. Naramatrasya Bhakti Adhikar. And there are also, based on the Vedas, the self-realized souls have extracted from the Vedas and written books. So these also, the Acharya's commentaries, various works, are also what? Amnaya. Like Madhurya Kadambini is not part of the Vedas or part of the Shruti or the Smriti or the Nyaya category. But still, Madhurya Kadambini is also Amnaya. The Vedanta Sutra is, part of, the Nyaya Shastra, Nyaya Praman. And the Acharyas have written commentaries. But sometimes the Acharyas have composed their own works, like the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the Upadeshamrit. So these are also Amnaya. That's what is the point. Therefore, the Vedic statements ascertained by the previous Acharyas as relating to the qualification delusions are all called Amnaya, and it is necessary to learn them. It is impossible to enter into the inconceivable nature without receiving the full mercy of the spiritual master. So, to criticize the Vedic literature or the literature in pursuance or in pursuance of the Vedic literature or in pursuance in the Vedic literature means all other works composed by the Acharyas. So all that is also falling in the ambit of Amnaya. That's the point I wanted to make. The instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this regard is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he speaks in the Chaitanya Charitamrita how this instruction is given. Let me see. Okay, we can finish this. Let's finish this. Very interesting. इहाते दृष्टांत है यह दरिद्र रघरे सर्वज्ञ आसी दुख देखी पुचाए ताहारे. The following parable may be given. Once a learned astrologer came to a house of a poor man and seeing his distressed condition questioned him. तुम्ही केह दुखी तुम्हारा आचे प्रीति पितृधन तुम्हारा न कहिला अन्यत्र छाड़िला जीवन. The astrologer asked, why are you unhappy? Your father was very wealthy, but he did not disclose his wealth to you because he died elsewhere. सर्वज्ञर वाक्य करे धनेर उद्देश आची वेद पुराण जीव Krishna Upadesh. Just as the words of the astrologer Sarvagya gave news of the poor man's treasure, Vedic literatures advise one about Krishna consciousness, Krishna Upadesh, when one is inquisitive to know why he is in distressed material condition. Sarvagyara Vakya Mula Dhana Anubandha Sarvashastra Upadesha Sri Krishna Sambandha. By the words of the astrologer, the poor man's connection with the treasury was established. So similarly, Vedic literatures advises of our real connection with Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person. Veda, Krishna Sambandha. बापेर धन आचे ज्ञान धन नाही पाए तबे सर्वज्ञ कहे तारा प्राप्तिर उपाय. So the Sarvagya told that your father has left a lot of wealth. But now that establishes Sambandha. But now where is that wealth? Although being assured of his father's treasure, the poor man cannot acquire this treasure by such knowledge alone. Bapera dhanache jnana dhana nahi paye. Therefore, the astrologer had to inform him the means whereby he could actually find the treasure. Tabe sarvega taha tare praptira upay. So once you understand my sambandh with Krishna, then how to attain Krishna? What is the means to attain Krishna? That is abhidheya. एहि स्थानाचे धन यदि दक्षिणे कुदिबे भूमरुला boruli utibe dhana na paibe. The astrologer said the treasure is in this place. But if you dig towards the southern side, the wasp and the drones will rise. You will not get your treasure. Paschime khudibe taha yaksha ek hai Se vigna karibe dhana hatana padai. If you dig in the western side, there is a ghost who will create such a disturbance that your hands will not even touch the treasure. Uttara kudila che Krishna ajagare, dhana nahi paye kudite gilibe sabare. If you dig on the northern side, there is a black snake. Krishna Ajagar. Krishna means here black. Krishna also means color. That will devour you if you attempt to dig up the treasure. पूर्वधिके तटे मति अल्प खुदिते धनर jari pade beke tomara hatite. However, if you dig a small quantity alpa kudite on the eastern side, your hands will immediately touch the pot of treasure. So now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's story of the lost treasure. So the direction south, what will encounter? Wasp and drones. So this is compared to Karma Kanda. In the western direction, he says there will be ghost. This is Jnana, speculative knowledge. And in the north, there's a big black snake. This is a mystic yoga. You want siddhis. Those siddhis only will kill you. And the eastern, the pot of treasure, Alpa Kudive, this is the path of bhakti. So that the Vedas ultimately propound the path of bhakti in one sense. आचे शास्त्र कहे कर्म ज्ञान योग तेजी भक्ते कृष्ण वश होय भक्ते तांड्रा भजी. Revealed scriptures conclude that one should give up fruitive activity, speculative knowledge, and the mystic yoga system and instead take to devotional service by which Krishna can be fully satisfied. So here the question may arise then, if bhakti is by which Krishna arises, then why these other paths are given, which is like wasp, ghost, black snake? Because not everyone is qualified. They have different mentalities. So the Vedas are like million mothers. They accommodate everyone. And ultimately, all these other paths, karma, jnana, and yoga, actually lead to bhakti. And that's why bhakti is the only path. When a person who desires spiritual perfection hears the conclusions regarding the soul from the spiritual master, then his heart becomes pure and he proceeds towards the lotus feet of Krishna. Amna is the only authority regarding the goal of life. One should consider that the other nine realities through this authority and this understanding manifest in the pure heart on the strength of Amnaya. This is called self-realization, and this is the basis of life's goal. So this is how he proves Amnaya. Now, I would like to take another 4 till, Lord speaks, Lord is full of rasabdhim. So I'll take this and then take up the questions. The other 3 are very simple. What the Amnaya say? Hari Paramam. Lord Hari is the only worshipable Lord. Regarding the first reality, the Amnaya says that the Supreme Brahman, Sri Hari, is the only worshipable Lord. His impersonal conception is called Brahman, which is nothing but his bodily effulgence. That Supreme Lord Hari is, in one of his expansion, becomes the super soul or the controller who creates, maintains, and destroys the universe. Lord Hari is none other than Krishna, the super soul is none other than Vishnu, and his bodily effulgence is none other than Brahman. Hari, when he takes the role of maintenance of Vishnu, he is Paramatma, and his bodily effulgence is Brahman. By discussing the truth of the omnipotent Lord Hari, all one's doubts regarding the Supreme Lord are cleared. Until these doubts are cleared, one cultivates knowledge by discussing impersonal Brahman as opposite to material knowledge. So, Brahman is the first step. If these doubts are there, if not that we have not established, then the negation of the material is in the form of cultivation of Brahman. Again, in order to understand the super soul, the expansion of the Lord, Ashtanga Yoga is conceived. Only when one is freed from all doubts does he attain unflinching devotion to Krishna. So this is very simple. Then he says, Sarva Shaktiman. The Lord is full of inconceivable potencies. According to the knowledge of Amnaya, the second reality is considered as follows. The Supreme Lord Hari is naturally full of inconceivable potencies. So we have to accept these inconceivable potencies of the Lord. How the universes are created by coming from the pores of Mahavishnu. It is inconceivable how from the pores, universes, such huge universes manifest. Because he has inconceivable potencies. Srila Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbha says that as long as one doesn't accept the inconceivable potency of the Lord, one cannot make progress in spiritual life. Through one of his potencies, he manifests as indistinct Brahman. This is his impersonal potency. Again, through his unlimited potencies, including Brahman and Paramatma, he finishes his supremacy as a supreme personality of Godhead. Although the impersonal and the personal potencies are contained within him, still the personal potencies are predominant. As stated in the Sritashra rules, Prashya Shakti Vivideya Shruyate Sabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. The Supreme Lord has multi-potencies which act so perfectly that all consciousness, strength, and activity are being directed solely by his will. The spiritual potencies are known as Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladini. The Lord's potencies of eternal existence, cognizance, and bliss are known by the pure devotees. So that is about Sarva Shaktiman. Then Rasabdim. Lord Sri Krishna is full of spiritual rasas. About the third reality, the Amna says that the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is full of spiritual rasas. By the power of that rasa, both the material and the spiritual worlds become maddened. People are mad in this world, in the material world, for sense gratification. And the gopis are also mad after Krishna for, again, also rasa, but that is spiritual rasa and that is pure. This is perverted. That is the constitution of Krishna. Akhila Rasamrita Murti, Rasika Shekhar, Radha Ras Vihari. Therefore, Lord Krishna has said, I am the source of Brahman. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Due to the power of that supreme rasa, there are unlimited varieties in both the spiritual and the material worlds. The rasa in the spiritual world is pure. The rasa of the material world is his shadow. Again, by the Lord's inconceivable potency, the unlimited rasas of the spiritual world have been manifested in the Vrindavan pastimes of this world. The pure spirit soul is eligible for spiritual rasa. To attain that spiritual rasa, supreme rasa, is the living entity's dharma, attaining rasa. The living entity attains that on the strength of his devotional service. Attaining the Brahman is devoid of rasa or dry. That is never to be strived for. There is no manifestation of rasa in the realization of Paramatma also. Only devotional service to Lord Krishna is full of rasa. In the Paramatma, there is something called as a Shant Rasa. And in the Shant Rasa, there is actually no manifestation of rasa. Like, rasa means like the husband and wife, there have to be activities of reciprocation happening. Then there is relish. When the husband and wife fight with each other, there is no activity. They don't see each other, they face opposite each other and sit. So there is no exchange happening. So Shant Rasa is like that. That's why it's mentioned as devoid of rasa. There's no rasa. Okay, now from here onwards, we will discuss from tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll continue this discussion. Any questions, any clarifications about the Dashamula Tattva? Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll complete Niścaya and then we'll go ahead with the other articles also. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.